Welcome back to the show. Just want to go over quickly what I'm doing because I'm kind of switching it up. Let's see, back down, down, down. So you can see since I started the wheel about a month ago, um, it's been relatively up, right? But in the past, the recent past, it's really not that up. I guess there's a little bit here, but um, I'm thinking it's time to upgrade, right? So I've been using a lot of these sort of trash stocks. Now I kind of like it because it is like lower risk because there's lower amounts of money involved, right? Like $700 or 300. It's not thousands. Um, but I broke 8,000 and now I'm looking to only make a few positions because I have more than 10. And I had 15, 16 at one point. So, okay, what do I mean by um, only having a few positions? So that doesn't include covered calls. Covered calls don't count because those are stocks that have already entered the wheel. And then now I own them and I'm just selling covered calls. And my strategy for all of these, like Soundhound and I don't think Lucid I'm going to get called on. So I may never own Lucid, which is this one here. Hut I own. I think I'm wheeling out of that already, and that will be a profit. So, but Soundhound, um, and then New York Community Bank, I'll probably keep a few of that and just run covered calls for a long time until it starts going up, and I'll probably get assigned on some of those calls, and then I will lose shares, but I'll get money back for them. But obviously, like Oatly, I'm trying to get out of that one. But anyway, so for these stocks, I'm probably not looking to hold on to Hut or Soundhound for a long time. I'm looking to wheel out of NYCB and keep 300 because it will do a reverse stock split, which is basically where three stocks will become one stock because they're trying to raise their prices and whatever, consolidate. So that will probably, I'll probably hold on to that one. And hopefully that'll be like a good long-term idea. I just kind of like it. It's a dividend stock, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, that's what my idea is. So right now, I'm just including those three NYCB, SOUN, Soundhound, and Hut because I own them. Once they're not owned, I'm going to get rid of them. And then I'm trying to move up into stocks I like more, like the business is actually good. When you do fundamental analysis on American Airlines, for example, it's a decent business. It's been around for a long time, and the stock prices move sideways. So even if I get assigned on a put, I'll just sell covered calls. You know what I mean? So like I can run the wheel on this for a long time, and I can afford the premiums if I just have a few positions. Riley I like a lot, but it keeps going up even after it drops. Let's see. So like down here, I thought I might get assigned when I sold a put on it, but before I could get assigned, it popped back up to 20. And so I haven't been assigned. I've just been making money on it. And then I think around here or something, I open a new position, a new put at 19 for $130, and it's still going up relatively. So my total return is $15. So the expiration date is in April. So yeah, you can see that a lot of these positions. I mean, this is a good stock. It goes up. So the wheel's a lot easier if the stock goes up, and those small pullbacks. You're making money off of puts, and then if the pullback does hit you and your timing is a little off, then you'll get assigned. But then you can just sell covered calls and you'll own it. I like this because it's a dividend stock. So anyway, Palantir's on here too because it's kind of on a tear recently, and one of my mentors is obsessed with it, and he was right about it like 2 years ago when it was, I don't know what it was back then, but it was like $8 before, and so the company has a good CEO, and the fundamentals are strong. So This is something I could sell puts on and just make money selling puts, because it might not even pull back at all. Where the pullback just means the price goes down temporarily and then it comes back up. So it pulls back temporarily. If you get assigned, you own this stock and then it goes back up and you make money on both sides. And then you can sell covered calls. So anyway, these are kind of the things I'm looking at. Looking to use American Airlines. I like Riley myself. Not many people are into it from what I can see on YouTube at least. But when I put it into my websites and whatever analysis, it seems to be a pretty solid company that is a buy, which means if I sell puts behind it, I won't get assigned. And if I do, the price will keep going up and what I am assigned will go up in value. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm switching from lower quality companies that tend to go down to higher quality companies that tend to go up or stay sideways, which is good. And so the key for the wheel is you need to find companies you can afford to do this with, because you have to be able to buy 100 shares, not 1,000, but you have to be able to buy 100 shares, and I'm not at a point where I can do that with big name companies like Apple. Obviously, then I would just be doing that on Apple. But the trade-off with that is the premiums you get paid for selling puts is going to be, the ratio is going to be lower, but the overall value is going to be higher. So what I mean by that is, I don't know what has the most volatility right now, but let's just see a month out. If you sell a put right here, so what is this delta? If you sell the 40 delta on a HUT, right, you get almost 20% back, right? So 10% of 906 on the right side is 90, and you double that, and the max profit is higher than that. So this is actually better than 20% return. So 20%, yeah. So let's say we doubled it just so you can get an idea. Okay, so $388, almost $400 out of your $1,800. And let's compare that to Riley. So 1 month out, this is 39 delta, is pretty much the 40 delta. And see, so this is closer to 10%, right? Because it's $1,895 that you're putting in, and if you win, so you're risking $1,895 to get $205, right? So it's like half the return. The thing is, though, I probably won't get assigned on this, so the probabilities are higher even though the deltas are the same, because it's a better company, so most likely it will go up. Whereas with HUT, it does go down a lot, so it's not as, the probabilities aren't as good, which is why, the max profit, the possible profit is not as high here because it's just more stable stock. I guess that's what it means, right? Volatile versus stable. So that's how it works. I'm basically wheeling, or I'm attempting to wheel out of the higher volatility, lower quality stocks, and then start using these higher quality stocks. But that's why, as you upgrade, and you get more money out of this, you're not going to be able to make these higher volatility plays because they're not really worth it, because it's long-term more work, because you're going to get assigned more often, and then when you're assigned, the value of your shares goes down if the stock or the business isn't really that good. So long-term, you want to upgrade into these stocks that are generally going up, because then you actually can't lose. Like with some of these, you can lose, and then you're catching up by selling covered calls, and so maybe you don't end up losing any money, but you also end up not making that much money. It's kind of an illusion that the premiums are higher, because when you get assigned, then the premium is not as high as the losses you make on the stock crashing. Now, granted, this is not a huge crash. Like, this stock got saved, but it could have gone really low. And I've seen other stocks that I avoided that went down to less than $1, like Fisker. I don't even know. They might get delisted at this point. It's so bad. So fundamental analysis is number one, and I shouldn't have doubted Warren Buffett, and that's his idea, right? So make sure the fundamentals are good, and they're a buy, and then running the wheel on them long term will be better, even if short term you don't get paid as much. I hope that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm actually really looking forward to having less positions to worry about and not having to really worry because the stocks that I pick are stronger. So hope that makes sense. It's a little different getting from 2,000 to like 5,000. Like that journey was more higher risk, higher volatility, and that now it's like the game is a little different, and it's really good to understand because if I'm going to help people get through this, it helps that I'm doing it myself and risking my own money and figuring out, and I do have several mentors that I work with, and I think that's the key is learning from many people. So don't just watch my channel, check out other people's channel, Invest with Henry, Yield Collector. I don't know, there's a lot of channels that do this sort of thing, and never just pull from one source because there's things that I'm going to talk about that I'm not going to talk about that other people are going to talk about. So especially if you're not a financial guy where you got a fancy degree or you worked at some company, if you're a normal person, there's so much information out there, but you have to go find it. So good luck with y'all. Happy Easter. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. All right. Peace out.